Cool. So, I thought in today's video, I would finally go over who I think is going to headline Reading 2020. I have 10 names in front of me that I have put down on a list. But additionally, I put a little YouTube commentary community post thing up and got loads and loads of wonderful feedback. So if you commented on that, then I've got that here, and we'll go through as many as I possibly can. I think there's like 50 of them, so I might scream through them as quick as I possibly can, but we'll see. But I have made a list. I've made a list of about 10 people. Sorry, I've got a list of 11 people here, all who have the potential to headline Reading Festival next year. We'll go through them one by one, and then we can start looking at who we think are going to headline and who you guys think are going to headline. So I'm just going to start this off by, there were some rumours that Green Day might be headlining. I'm very, very happy that this isn't the case, because I hate Green Day. I can't stand them. But one of the wonderful things about the internet is that you can see tour dates very quickly from across the world. Green Day are on tour with Fall Out Boy and Weezer on Reading weekend next year. They're in America. There is no chance that they're going to be in Richford Avenue. That's a win in my book. But if you're a fan of Green Day, then they're playing in Huddersfield. So if you've been to Leeds, then Huddersfield's not very far, so you can go see them there. Hopefully I never have to see them at Reading or Leeds ever again. Right, that bit's over. Let's go on who we think on the 11 names here. Now, we're going to start off with Foals. Now, Foals released their first album this year. They headlined in 2016. They haven't announced a tour for their upcoming second part album. The only thing that stops me thinking that it's Foals is that they're currently the third favourite to headline Glastonbury. And I think, well, look, they're not going to headline both. They're either going to headline Reading and Leeds or Glastonbury. I think this year it would be great if it's Glastonbury because they've headlined Reading. But I'm not going to say no to a Foals headline slot at Reading. No way on this planet is that happening. So I'm well up for that. I'm loving what I'm hearing so far from that new album of theirs that's coming out next month. And I'm well excited just to see where this goes. Next on the list is Bring Me the Horizon. Now, I was really surprised that they didn't headline this year. I thought that was an absolute given. I really, really did. So I'd love to see them headline Reading and Leeds. I think they're one of the most exciting rock bands to have made it, in quotes, in the last 10 years. They are doing such wonderful things. I loved Ammo as an album. I thought it was absolutely brilliant, really diverse, lots of different sounds, but also incredibly familiar as well. New whilst also being familiar, and that's super important. I did an album review about it. You can go and listen to that below. I'm not sure whether they'll headline, purely based on the fact that the album came out in January. If they were going to headline, then they would have done it this year, but perhaps they will. I'm not too sure. I'd love it though. I'd absolutely love to see them headline. Keeping it on a kind of heavier note, I think it's exciting to talk about the prospect of Slipknot. And bit of a spoiler, I did a shout out video a while back talking about who we think are going to headline 2020. Lots and lots of people have said Slipknot. They released their album very recently. They are one of the biggest of the kind of previous generation of rock bands. They haven't played Reading since 2008 when they cancelled because Joey broke his foot. I was gutted. I would absolutely love to see Slipknot. Honestly, I think it would be absolutely brilliant. I'd absolutely love to see Slipknot. And what a shocker that would be for Reading to book them. Because over the last few years, they've been going further and further away from that heavy sound. But Slipknot, that would be great. That would be absolutely brilliant. Going on more of a hip-hop kind of tip now, at some stage, someone like Kanye West has to headline Reading Festival. I love Kanye. I've enjoyed his music for years. There was times when I didn't, but then I've come back to it and loved it. T-Lop is one of my favourite albums of the last decade. I think it's absolutely incredible. And I'm ready for a new Kanye album. I know that he was supposed to release one last year and then was supposed to release one this year, and it hasn't happened yet. I mean, it's, we've still got a couple of months, so it's possible. But I think probably going into next year, we'll see him release his new album. Prime festival booking slot in my book there. He's played Wireless, he's headlined Glastonbury, not played Reading and Leeds, and I think he would do well for that current crowd. Kanye West, I'd love to see that. Keeping it also on an American thing, I'm really surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw someone like Drake. He's had a quiet year this year for the first time in ages. He hasn't released like a brand new album. I think he's released a few singles after the Raptors won. He came on stage a few years back with gigs, so I wouldn't be surprised if he was booked at all. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised by that at all, especially following the kind of previous years of people like Kendrick and Eminem and Post Malone. That Saturday night is beginning to be that kind of night of more of a hip-hop persuasion, so I think someone like Drake could do really well. It would certainly sell a lot of tickets, but I bet he would probably charge quite a lot as well. Next, going to the UK, and I think someone who is on fire again at the moment and is going to have a massive 2020 is Stormzy. Now, obviously, he headlined Glastonbury this year, being the first UK rapper to do so. As far as I'm aware, I don't think we've had a UK rapper headline Reading ever. So I think following this year, seeing AJ Tracey absolutely destroy it and seeing how big H's set was, I would not be surprised at all if we saw someone like Stormzy take to the headline slot on the Saturday and just absolutely smash that booking. I really wouldn't be surprised by that in one iota. I think that he had an amazing first album, and the response from that was brilliant. I think he's a hell of a talent. I really do. I think he would absolutely smash a set at Reading. I think it'd be great, and my girlfriend would thoroughly enjoy it, especially if he takes his top off. And to close out the little hip hop part here, I thought someone really interesting that could headline, who hasn't played in a few years and had a great album this year, is Skepta. You know, we're talking one of the real pioneers of UK rap music, just worked with everyone, but one of the best there ever has been and ever will be. And I think when we look at how big Kenichiwa was and how influential of an artist he is, absolutely see Skepta headline. I think that would be a just slot. I think he absolutely deserves it, and I would love to see him take to the main stage on the headline slot. I think that'd be absolutely brilliant. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see it. So heading into the kind of indie bands kind of realm, I would say, I'm interested in someone like The Strokes, who haven't played since 2011. The Strokes headlined after not their last album, the album before. They're you know, when we talk about pioneering indie bands, The Strokes are one of the biggest that there has been. Their last album wasn't that well received, but you know, apparently there's new music on the horizon. They were making jokes about it on the Zane Lowe show the other day, so I'm excited to see what happens. I'd love to see him come back and headline. They're amazing. I absolutely love The Strokes. I absolutely love them, and they've got such an amazing back catalogue. Seeing things like Someday and Last Night and New York City Cops and Reptilia and Some Kind of Happiness and all those amazing records would be absolutely brilliant to see on the main stage again. And there's a whole like generation of kids that haven't listened to a Strokes album. You know, if it's 2000, like they last played nearly 9 years ago, like people that were that are going to be 16 next year would have been 7 when they released their last album. I think it's time to bring them back and educate some kiddies on why the Strokes is super important. I'd love to see that. A band that haven't headlined before, but I think are due, because I absolutely love them, is Haim. Now, they are back in the studio working and releasing music as they go. They recently released the record Summer Girl, which is a bit of an homage to Lou Reed. They headlined the Radio 1 stage 3 years ago, and that second album of theirs was amazing. It's so good. Every song on that record is amazing. On top of that, we've only ever had one female solo artist, and we've never had an all-girl band headline Reading. And when we look at Reading Festival and its cultural impact on kind of guitar-driven music, or alternative music, it doesn't need to be guitar-driven, just alternative, because I would put Post Malone as an alternative artist. You know, Glastonbury has these massive artists like Beyonce and Coldplay and U2 headline. Reading always goes slightly left of the field. It's still very much a commercial event, but we're talking about a more alternative commercial artist. Haim are absolutely that. They absolutely are. I think artists like Billie Eilish really straddle that line really well, but I think that Haim are very much in the Reading camp, and I would absolutely love to see them headline the main stage. Who knows? Perhaps you put it as a split headliner with another smaller act, but I think they could do it by themselves. I absolutely think they could, and I'd love to see it. I really would. I think that they're amazing, and it would be good to shake up the headliners a bit, especially as it was for all male gender bands again this year. So yeah, I think that'd be really interesting. A bit heavier, and because they haven't played in a few years, but they're back in the studio, is Biffy Clyro. I love Biffy Clyro. I never used to love Biffy Clyro until I went to Reading in 2013, and I questioned whether they were due that headline slot. And they played. That was one of my favourite headline slots I've ever seen. Was Biffy Clyro headline for the first time. They played every other stage except for that one. So to see them make their way up and then play that stage was really something special. I would have loved to have seen them do a secret set this year at Reading, but they didn't. But they've just released some music for a soundtrack. They're also back working on a new album. So by August next year, Biffy Clyro. I'm not going to complain at that at all. I think that'd be amazing. And last, but by certainly no means least, a band that's back in the studio working on a new album and don't get much bigger is Blink-182. Blink-182 I've seen them headline Reading twice, once in 2014, the other was in 2010. They're amazing. They're amazing. They're an amazing band. I love them. Since Tom left and they got the gent from Alkaline Trio, I've thoroughly enjoyed his input on them as a band, and yeah, I'd love to see Blink-182. I think it'd be great. I think that speaks for itself. So there's my 11 names. I'll be completely honest, I haven't researched any of the gaps in their schedule, so I could have already shot myself in the foot for a lot of these. So please feel free to let me know where I've gone wrong in the comments, or if you're watching this, head down to the comments to see how I've been so wrong. But I'd like to go through and just look at what the other people have been saying and look at what other people recommend in terms of who's going to play. So with that community post, I've not actually been in and had a look at any of the comments yet. So let's go through. So Niall Kemp says Catfish, Liam Gallagher co-headline, Stormzy and the Killers. Catfish, I think, would have headlined this year if they were going to. I don't think they'll headline next year with their album coming out this year. Maybe on album 4, I think we'll see them headline, is my opinion. Liam Gallagher, I don't think is a headline act. I think he's a supporting headline act at this stage. Oasis are a headline act. Liam Gallagher is not. That's just my opinion. Stormzy, I agree. Killers, maybe. I don't think they're legendary enough, if I'm honest with you. I know that's going to upset a lot of people. Arctic Fucking Monkeys. Yeah. They are one of those people that can just headline whenever they want, but I think we'll probably wait for the next album for them. Henry Firth, I could see it being Kasabian, Tyler the Creator and Block Party, but my dream headliners would be Chemical Brothers, Jamie T, LCD Soundsystem co-headline, and then finish them off with a little bit of Pulp. So, okay, wow, Kasabian would love that. They're supposed to be getting back together around now, whether or not they have a new album out ready for next year, or whether it's the year after. I think we'll see Kasabian in the next 2 years. Tyler the Creator, I don't think is a big enough artist to headline Reading Festival yet. I think he is in America, but I don't think he's big enough in the UK. Block Party are my favourite band in the entire world. I love them, but they won't headline because they are not good enough on their last album isn't good enough, and they could headline the Radio 1 stage, but not the main stage. Dream headliners, Chemical Brothers. I wish Reading Festival would take a ballsy move and put the Chemical Brothers as a headline slot. It happened once before, I think, in the 90s. Jamie T, I think, is also not big enough to headline, and LCD Soundsystem co-headline. I don't think LCD Soundsystem are big enough to headline either. I think they're Radio 1 stage headliners, and they've done that before. They could support headline on a Sunday, I think that would be good. And then finish off a bit of Pulp. Again, I think the days of Pulp headlining are in the past as well. They headlined in 2011. It was great. It's the only time I've ever crowd surfed, and it was a lot of fun. I don't think they have as much cultural gravitas these days as they once did. Perhaps I'm wrong. Sam Meek, Catfish, Bring Me the Horizon co-headliners, Billie Eilish, Kasabian and Muse. So, Catfish I've talked about, Bring Me the Horizon I've talked about, Billie Eilish I talked about in a previous video. I think she could headline. I don't think she should headline for another year or so. I want 3 albums from her before she headlines. Minimum 2. A bare minimum 2 albums. But I think, yeah, 3 albums would be good. Kasabian, we just talked about. Muse. They did the Origins of Symmetry tour, and that was amazing. I don't know, I don't care for Muse that much. Tom Connolly, my man. Bring Me the Horizon, Stormzy, Slipknot, Liam Gallagher, The Strokes, Travis Scott, Kanye, Billie Eilish, Kasabian, Green Day. Okay, you realise that there's a max of like 5 here, Tom. Bring Me the Horizon, I could see happening, but I think they should have done it this year. Stormzy, absolutely. Slipknot, would love it. Liam Gallagher, I don't think it's big enough. The Strokes, would love that. Travis Scott, I think is not big enough to headline. You put how big Kanye West and Post Malone, Eminem and Kendrick Lamar in there, and I'm sorry, Travis Scott is not up to that level yet. He might be after his next album. My mum knows who Post Malone is. She knows who, hi mum. My mum knows who Post Malone is. My mum knows who Kendrick Lamar is. My mum knows who Eminem is. My mum has no idea who Travis Scott is. Kanye West, I love it. Billie Eilish, I said that 2 albums would be great. Kasabian, I think will be the year after. And Green Day, we have proven that's not going to be the case. Stan Healy, Catfish, Bring Me the Horizon, Drake, The Killers, Tame Impala, and Bring Me the Horizon, Drake, The Strokes. Tame Impala, I have such an internal argument with myself. Is Tame Impala a UK headline act? At Glastonbury, yes, on the other stage, but the Reading main stage is like the Glastonbury main stage and the other stage put together. In terms of like big stages, it goes Radio 1 stage at Reading Festival, the other stage at Glastonbury, the main stage at Reading, and then the Pyramid stage. Those are like how the hierarchy of bigness. Tame Impala, I don't think would headline. But it does depend on how good his new album is. How good Kevin can bring that there, I don't know. Talk about the others in the other one there. Stan. Miles McDermott, Bring Me the Horizon and Catfish co-headline would be killer. Stormzy seems pretty nailed on, I think, after Glasgow this year. Yep. I agree there, Miles. Last one is pretty tough. Would love it to be The Strokes, Killers or Queens of the Stone Age. Queens of the Stone Age are back in the studio. Queens of the Stone Age. They have headlined before. It was one of the quietest headline slots I've seen. But that was pre-Villains. And they are very good. Oh, I mean, I'd love it. I'd see Queens of the Stone Age on the main stage again. I love that. Lots of people predicting Slipknot, but can't foresee it really. There are lots of people predicting that. If Festival Republic are watching my videos, in which all of you should be, then I think that Slipknot should be booked. And there's a lot of people that want that too. Be a good way to get an older crowd in and have a bit more of like a metal day. That could be really, really exciting. Slipknot supported by Bring Me the Horizon. Ooh, I'd like that. Lewis Appleby, Tyler the Creator. I don't think he's big enough. Ebron J. Predictions, Catfish, Biffy, Drake. We talked about these. Wishlist, AM, Liam Gallagher, The Strokes, Tame Impala, DMAs. Well, the DMAs are nowhere near big enough in the UK to do that. I'd like to see the DMAs play a much higher slot on the Radio 1 stage, or like third from top on the main stage. I think it would be good. But I don't think they're quite big enough in the UK yet. They're not a household name enough to headline. Who's stand at 9? Tame Impala, Catfish, Drake, Cactus Jack. Would it be? Wish it would be Kanye. Me too. Daniel Stanley. I'm praying for either Florence or Biffy. Florence we haven't talked about. She released an album last year. I haven't heard any whispers of her back in the studio, but you know, I would imagine she is someone that's always making music. I would love to see Florence play the main stage and headline. I think she is one of the most incredible artists of our generation, and I just think she's wonderful. I fucking love her. Harry Warren, Arctic Monkeys, Florence and the Machine, Mclemore. Now, I'm not the biggest Mclemore fan. He played with Ryan Lewis, sub-headlined, 2014, before Blink-182. Yeah, that sounds about right. And he was great, but I don't think he has the same gravitas as he has since then. Reese Graham, Catfish Falls co-headline, Tame Impala, Tyler the Creator co-headline, Green Day or The Strokes. We could see 5 headliners this year. We could see 2 co-headlines, and like 4 smaller bands come to co-headline, and then have a big name. I absolutely could see that. Max Dirty, the dream would be Kasabian, Arctic Monkeys and Muse, but I doubt it. Yeah, I think that's too similar there, Max. Wagwana says BBK. I think that would be cool as well, but I don't... No, I'm not against that. Burton Albion, 123. Liam Gallagher, Catfish, Stormzy, Blink-182. Yeah, maybe. Finley Anderson, Saturday night for the so-called rap headliner, I would say could be Stormzy, Drake, or Tyler the Creator. The Tapole Gamer 405, I want to see Drake, AM, Mumford & Sons, Green Day, The Killers, Foals, any of them. Mumford & Sons isn't a bad shout. They released an album this year. That didn't really do... I don't really know if I listened to it. Joe Hendo, asked for Tame Impala. Joe Carlos, Slipknot, Coldplay, Radiohead, and Kanye West. Coldplay are not a Reading band, I'm sorry there, Joe. And Radiohead, I hope not, because I think they're miserable. And I love music, and everyone says, oh, if you love music, you should love Radiohead. I don't love Radiohead. They're all right. Casey Evans, Biffy Clyro, Sam Fender, Don Brocco. Biffy Clyro, yes. Sam Fender. Okay, here's the rules with Reading headliners. They have to be big enough to headline. And to do that, historically speaking, they always have 3 albums. Now, that isn't always the case. We have other examples where that's not the case. Disclosure is one of those examples. Post Malone this year was one of those examples. However, he released his album very shortly afterwards. So I don't see someone like Sam Fender, who's just released his first album, being big enough to headline, is my answer there. Don Brocco, I don't think is a household name that's big enough. I think they're a sub-headline act. I don't think they're big enough to headline. Joshua Simmons, The Killers, Kanye West, and Bring Me the Horizon. Isaac Lambden, Frank Carter, A Day to Remember, and Metallica. A Day to Remember can as can Metallica, but Frank Carter would be amazing. One day. I think they're going to go back in the studio, do album number 4, and come back and headline the Radio 1 stage. That's what I'd like to see. Hens, I would love Muse, I would not. Alex Penny, The Killers, Foals, AM, Kanye West's We Can Only Dream. Yep, Toby Parsons, Lord Kana, wishful thinking there, although I think he could come back and headline the Radio 1 stage. One Tyler the Creator and Brockhampton. Brockhampton, vastly becoming big. I don't think Brockhampton are big enough to headline, but they have got a lot of material. I think they need another year or 2 to work on that. David Monk, going to be Catfish, Bring Me the Horizon, and Liam Gallagher, I reckon. Jack Barron, Blink-182, S Club 7, The Beatles, lol, joke, Blink-182, Bring Me the Horizon, and Drake. S Club 7 would be amazing, I agree with you. TLG Vlogs, I'm calling Green Day, they're on tour, so I don't think that's going to happen. Hereford Wolf, Liam Gallagher, I don't think so. Cortinas can off. Libertines, they need to do something more culturally relevant because they haven't released anything for a long time. Stone Roses, I don't think will happen. I think they're more likely to headline somewhere like Glastonbury, but you know, 2012, The Cure headline, so I'm not against it at all. Dominic Strange, Youngblood, okay. Paddy Higgins, Melvin Ben has talked. Oh, here we go. We've got a long one here, Paddy. Melvin Ben has talked about Stormzy headlining in the past, so I think him headlining Glastonbury is a great reason for Reading to book him. I think Foals, Catfish, and Bring Me the Horizon are likely headliners, but I'm not sure who out of them will headline. I'd really like to see Tame Impala headline. I think with his stage show and the new layout of the main stage with the screens, I think it will be an amazing show. As for the Foo Fighters Legend headliner, I don't know who it could be. Arctic Monkeys, maybe. Lots of people wanted Foo Fighters last, and we got them last year. Maybe they'll do the same for Arctic Monkeys. Green Day are playing America during the Reading show next year. Interesting. You're right. Melvin Ben has spoke about that. I think he is a headliner. I think he's ready, even if he hasn't released a second album. Tame Impala. I'm not sold on Tame Impala headlining. I love him, don't get me wrong, but I'm not sold on it. Harrison, JLFJKD. I feel like Stormzy is pretty nailed on the Saturday slot, but AM, Bring Me the Horizon, Catfish or Biffy, and I'm happy. We're seeing the same names over and over again at this point. I think I like where that's at, but the other thing is that we've got to be thinking about who's releasing music next year, and Bring Me the Horizon aren't releasing a new album next year that I'm aware of anyway. My money's on Stormzy, Bring Me the Horizon, and Foals. I would love that as a lineup. I really would. That's absolutely perfect, I think. I think it will be Stormzy, Catfish in the bottom end, and maybe a female headliner. I mean, maybe. Look at all of these. All of these are blokes. But ideally, my headliners for the next year would be Bring Me the Horizon and Shikari co-headline, something like Dave or Slow Tie and The Prodigy if they carry on. Ooh, Slow Tie and The Prodigy would be wonderful. Slow Tie, 1 album. I need 2. That's the same for Dave. Amy, Grieg, Wolf Alice, if they release a 3rd album, they could headline. I don't know if they're big enough to headline by themselves or if they do a co-headline. That's not me being sexist. I mean, they won the Mercury. They're fucking huge. Bring Me the Horizon and Catfish co-headline, Drake, Blink-182. Sam Ervig, Catfish, Arctic Monkeys, Drake, Travis Scott, Green Day. Technium, Biffy Clyro, Bring Me the Horizon, Killers, Foals, AM. Not sure how plausible any of them are. William Clues, Bring Me the Horizon, Catfish, Biffy Clyro, and Green Day. Ruben Johnson, Imagine Dragons. I don't think they have captured the UK audience in the same way that they have the American audience. I think they could probably headline Coachella. I don't think they could headline Reading. I think they're big enough in the UK. I don't think they'd sell 100,000 tickets is my point. Sam FFC, Catfish, Liam Gallagher, Drake, The Killers. Joe Hall, Tyler Creator. Nine Numb, The Killers. 12 years. I agree, Nine Numb, but they also haven't released anything as big since then. Like, that was the year that they released is it Sam's Town? Is that the name of the album? The second album? So I don't see it happening, really. Royal Blood, if their album is out, I agree, but I don't know if anyone's ever gone sub-headline then headline the next year. I'd love that. Do not get me wrong. Royal Blood are destined to headline, but I don't think that's happened. Arctic Monkeys, and unfortunately probably Kanye. I mean, if I'd do anything to see Kanye West. That's not me telling you to no, that's me telling the situation to Tom Mile, Catfish in the Bottom End, Kanye West and Biffy. Solid lineup that. Fraser Gilmore, Biffy, Bring Me the Horizon, Arctic Monkeys, Foals, Catfish, maybe Slipknot for a heavier day, as unlikely as it seems nowadays. That's why I think it could be Slipknot though, because it seems unlikely now. Everyone's all like, oh, they'll never book them. But they're f***ing huge. Reading and Leeds are a massive commercial, the Festival Republic's biggest commercial festivals. They make them shitloads of money. This year they didn't sell out Leeds. They want to sell that out. I think Slipknot would sell it out. That's the way you got to look at it. Are they going to sell them out? Yes, Slipknot would sell it out. Christopher Williams, Biffy Clyro, The Streets, The Strokes is my 3 predictions, but also love Kanye. Tool, question mark, Catfish, The Killers, Blink, Brockhampton. Right, some new names here. The Streets are legendary enough to do that. But they only headline the John Peel stage this year. Depends how good the new stuff that he's working on is. So he's making a film or something, isn't he? Kanye. Tool. I'll be honest with you, I've never listened to any records by Tool. I don't know anything by them. I know that they're huge and loved. I just don't know them. But I know they're legendary enough, they probably could headline. Paramore. I haven't released anything since what, 2017? 2016? 17. Yeah. Paramore can absolutely do it. Or Panic at the Disco again, but I doubt it. I hope not. I hate Panic at the Disco. Donny Brosky, Green Day, and Sam Pearce, Green Day 100%. Anyone that says Green Day, it's a no. Because the simple fact of the matter is, they're playing in America, and we don't have to put up with them. Anyway, that's my predictions and your predictions. I'd love it if one of them is a name that isn't in that list. I would absolutely love that. That would make me like my day. Let's just have a look here and see who... I've got an announcement calendar of when it's been in the past. So that first announcement was in November the 29th. One in December was December the 3rd. November was 15 was November 25th. 16 was December the 5th. 17 December the 1st. 18, an anomaly ridiculous one, was February the 13th. And last year was November the 21st. So it's not going to be the end of October like I thought it might be. Oh wow, they've never done an announcement in October. Okay, cool. So we've got a couple of months off before Who the Fuck starts. I will probably, by the looks of things, be back in the UK when that announcement happens. But my guess would be that we will get that between the 25th of November and the 5th of December, which gives us 9 weeks. 9 weeks and counting until we can start to think that we'll have some form of headline announcement or first announcement. 9 weeks until Who the F*** Series 2. Interesting. Cool. Well, that's it. That's the headline predictions. I'll do a video about the Radio 1 headliners because that was a fun one I did last year. I never got them right. Like, I got everything wrong as I did with the Secret set, but it's entertaining to make the video and it's a lot of fun to talk about. And I prefer talking about it than just sit and waiting twiddling my thumb. Thank you so much for everyone that commented on those videos. I really appreciate it. It's always fun to make these videos, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers. Bye.